If you can't handle it, it's over." My wife said that with her mother and sister sitting right there at the kitchen table like they were waiting to see if I would fold. Anish Tales here, and this is one of those stories where the marriage did not end during some huge fight. It ended the second she used our home like leverage and expected me to thank her for the choice. I'm 33. My wife was 31. We had been together 6 years, married for 4. On paper, things looked stable. We rented a house. We both worked. We were supposed to be saving for a down payment. In reality, I was carrying almost all of it. The house was in her name because when we signed the lease 2 years earlier, her credit score was better. Fine. That part never bothered me. What mattered was this. Rent was $2,400 a month and I paid $2,000 of it. She paid $400 from her part-time retail job. I covered the heavy stuff because I made decent money in IT and I thought we were building something together. I thought wrong. Last Tuesday, I got home from work around 6 and saw my wife sitting at the kitchen table with her mom and younger sister. That was already strange. Her mom lived 2 hours away. Her sister lived across the country. Neither of them just dropped in on a Tuesday for fun. The second I saw all 3 of them waiting for me, I knew this was not a conversation. It was a setup. "We need to talk," my wife said. I sat down. Her mom jumped in first. Rent had gone up. Disability was not enough. She was losing her apartment. Then the sister. She had lost her job, could not afford her city anymore, needed time to regroup. I remember looking from one face to the other, waiting for the part where someone asked for advice or maybe short-term help. That part never came. My wife reached for my hand and said, "They're moving in with us. It makes sense. We have 3 bedrooms. They need help. We're family." I pulled my hand back. "Wait, what do you mean they're moving in with us?" "I'm telling you this is happening," she said. "They're my family." Not asking, not discussing, telling. Then I asked the question that should have mattered if I had actually been her partner. "How long?" Her mom said maybe 6 months. Her sister said maybe a year, which in real life means longer. I asked where my input was in any of this. That was when my wife hardened, right there in front of them. "My name is on the lease. If you can't handle supporting family when they need help, maybe we need to reconsider things." There it was, not a conversation, not a compromise, an ultimatum. And what really got me was how calm they all looked after she said it. Like this had been discussed already. Like my role was just to walk in, sit down, and agree to fund the next chapter. For maybe 10 seconds, I pictured my future if I stayed. Me paying for a house full of 4 adults. No privacy. No peace. A mother-in-law and sister-in-law parked in the extra rooms while my opinion meant nothing because technically my name was not on the lease. And the worst part was if I said no, I would somehow be the bad guy. That should have told me everything, so I just said, "Okay." My wife blinked. "Okay what?" "Okay, we're done." The room went silent so fast it almost felt staged. Her mom's jaw dropped. Her sister stared at me like I had started speaking another language. My wife stood up and said, "You're seriously ending our marriage over this?" "No," I said. "You issued the ultimatum. I'm just accepting one of the options you gave me. You said if I can't handle it, it's over. I can't handle it, so it's over." She immediately tried to pull it back. "I didn't mean it like that." "Then you shouldn't have said it." That was the first honest thing I had said in the marriage in a long time. Because once someone tells you your opinion does not matter in your own home, especially a home you are mostly paying for, there is not a lot left to save. I went to the bedroom and started packing. That part made them lose it. My wife followed me first, saying I was being ridiculous. Her mother came behind her talking about vows and family and what marriage means. Then the sister, acting like I was abandoning some noble cause instead of refusing to become an ATM machine with no vote. I packed my clothes, toiletries, laptop, charger, passport, important documents, a few pairs of shoes, the basics. Took maybe 40 minutes. All 3 of them talked the whole time, overlapping, arguing, pleading, accusing. I barely answered. Once I decided I was done, it was like all the noise in the room stopped sticking to me. My wife finally asked, "Where are you even going to go?" "Hotel tonight," I said. "I'll figure out the rest tomorrow." You can't just leave. I zipped my bag and looked at her. Watch me. That line made her mother step in front of me. You're married, she said. You have obligations. And she just told me I have no say in our home, I said. You can't have it both ways. That hit harder than anything else I said because it was the part they had no answer for. If I am the husband when the bills are due, then I am the husband when decisions get made. If I am not the husband when it comes to my own living situation, then I am not the wallet either. Simple. I grabbed my bags, walked out, got in my car, and left while they stood in the driveway yelling after me. My wife was screaming something about selfishness and abandonment. I drove to a Hampton Inn, checked in, sat on the edge of the bed, and just breathed. The room was quiet, neutral, boring. And underneath the shock, what I felt first was not grief. It was relief. That is always a bad sign for a marriage. My phone was exploding by then. Calls from my wife, text from her mom, text from her sister. I turned it off and went to sleep. The next morning, I called a coworker who had gone through a divorce and got a lawyer referral. By Friday, I had already done the consultation. Best money I ever spent. Since the lease was in her name only and we were renters, I had no obligation to keep paying for a house I no longer lived in. My lawyer told me to document everything, especially the ultimatum and the unilateral decision-making. That part mattered, because once you strip the emotion off this story, what actually happened is very simple. She decided. She demanded. She threatened. I left. Notice how accountability only became urgent once the rent was due. When I turned my phone back on, I had a wall of messages. My wife started with "please come home" and moved quickly into "how am I supposed to pay rent?" Her mom called me a disgrace. Her sister said I was leaving 3 women homeless. That one actually made me laugh. Homeless. They were standing in a whole house. They just could not afford it anymore without me. I ignored all of it for a while. Then after the lawyer meeting, I sent one text to my wife. I meant what I said. We're done. Get a lawyer. All communication goes through them from now on. Then I blocked her mom, blocked her sister. Found a 1-bedroom apartment that was actually cheaper than what I had been paying before. $1,400 a month, smaller place, better life. And that is when their panic really started. Because the first of the month was getting close and math does not care about ultimatums. My wife made around $1,800. Her mom's disability was not enough. Her sister had no job. Even combined, they were short. And that was before utilities, groceries, gas, anything. Meanwhile, I was sitting in a hotel realizing I had been financing my own disrespect for longer than I wanted to admit. A week later, my wife showed up at my work. Security stopped her in the lobby because apparently making a crying scene is not actually a legal argument. My boss called me down. I went, stayed calm, kept it short. We're separated, I told her. Please leave my workplace. She went straight to the real issue. We need to talk about rent. That almost would have been funny if it was not so pathetic. That's not my problem anymore, I said. The house is in your name. You issued the ultimatum. I accepted it. We're done. You can't just stop paying bills. We're married. Get a lawyer. Security walked her out. My boss asked if I was okay afterward. I told him the short version. Wife wanted to move her family in. Gave me an ultimatum. I left. He understood immediately. Funny how strangers sometimes get it faster than family. Then her lawyer tried a letter demanding I continue paying marital expenses, including rent, utilities, groceries. My lawyer shut that down so fast it was almost art. No lease obligation. No legal duty to bankroll a house I do not live in, especially after separation caused by her own ultimatum. That was when the story coming back through mutual friends started getting interesting. Her mom had to take out a payday loan to help cover rent. Her sister finally got a part-time job and then, in a move so dumb it felt scripted, talked my wife into co-signing a car loan because she needed transportation. They were already drowning, and then they added a monthly car payment. The math was never mathing over there. Then the landlord found out there were extra people living in the house. Apparently the lease had rules about long-term guests. Also, her sister decided to paint one of the bedrooms neon purple without permission. That detail still kills me. Imagine blowing up a marriage, wrecking the rent situation, and then painting a rented room neon purple like you own the place. That is not stress. That is entitlement in house paint. Meanwhile, I moved into my apartment. 1 bedroom, clean, quiet, minimal, no clutter. No one sighing when I walked into a room, no one making decisions for me and handing me the bill afterward. I set up my desk exactly how I wanted, started meal prepping, started sleeping better, started gaming with friends again, started reading. Started feeling like a person instead of a provider with legs. The weird part was how angry they all stayed. My mother-in-law found my work email and sent a message about vows and family loyalty and how disappointing I was. I forwarded it to my lawyer and deleted it. My ex-wife kept trying little side channels, cousins, friends of friends, random numbers. The message was always the same in different clothes. Things are hard. She misses you. Can you just help temporarily? Can we work this out? I answered one of those through someone else with the only response left. Get the divorce finalized. That's working it out. And that was it. The divorce itself moved quickly because there were no kids, no property, no shared debt worth fighting over. Just furniture, most of which I did not even want. We split the tax refund 50-50. Her lawyer tried to suggest she should get my half because of her expenses. My lawyer shut that down too. Apparently everyone on her side thought my money stayed married to their bad decisions even after I didn't. The final hearing took maybe 15 minutes. My ex looked miserable. I felt almost nothing. That sounds cold until you understand how tired I was before I left. By the time the divorce became official, I had already grieved the real thing. The part that hurt was not losing her. It was realizing she had stopped treating me like a partner a long time before that kitchen table. After the divorce, the house situation finally collapsed completely. Her mom had a medical scare and the extra bills pushed them over the edge. They missed rent. The landlord sent notice. Then came non-renewal, multiple lease violations, too many occupants, late payment, unauthorized painting. All the predictable consequences of a group of entitled adults acting like the rules were for someone else. Now no one wanted to rent to them. That was the part people kept trying to make me feel guilty about. As if the moral lesson here was that I should have kept paying for people who openly told me my opinion did not matter. I did not create their crisis. I just stopped absorbing it. That is an important difference. A while after the divorce, my ex used someone else's phone to send one last message. I hope you're happy. You destroyed our family. I read it once and blocked that number too. Because no, I did not destroy anything. She did that when she decided her family could move into our house without my input, my comfort, or my consent, while still expecting my money to keep carrying it. She treated me like a wallet first and a husband second. Then got mad when the wallet walked out. These days, life is quiet in the best way. My savings are growing again. I am back on track to buy a condo in the next year or two. I have my own routines, my own space, my own peace. I am not dating yet. Maybe later. For now, I am enjoying what it feels like to live without being volunteered for someone else's emergency. And I still think about that kitchen table sometimes. Not because I miss her. Because it was the first time I answered an ultimatum honestly instead of fearfully. That changed everything. If someone says, accept this or it's over, they are still making a bet. They are betting you will be too scared to choose the ending. And if your spouse only treats you like a partner when your money is involved, that is not a marriage. That is a subscription with emotional blackmail attached. Natural consequences are not cruelty. And the moment someone says your opinion does not matter in the home you mostly pay for, the relationship is already in dangerous territory. Would you have walked out that same night, or would you have stayed and tried to negotiate after an ultimatum like that? And when a spouse says, family comes first while quietly volunteering your money and your space, is that loyalty or just entitlement dressed up as virtue?